Hell in a Cell is done, which means we've got to move back into the WWE working week. And you know where that begins. It begins with Monday Night Raw, and I, Simon Miller, I'm about to go through that show, and I'm going to give the good bits an up, and I'm going to give the bad bits a down. And my mantra is basically this: I watch wrestling, so you don't have to. But you still can. If you want to watch wrestling, you can watch wrestling. But you can also come here and hear my opinions and go, that bald idiot doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Let's up those downs. Raw gets it down straight away because when Roman Reigns started to make his way to the ring, Corey Graves said, "Here comes the big D, here comes the big dog." What? That's not how people talk. Imagine your name is Dave. If Dave walks into my establishment, I don't go, "Way, it's Dave, it's David." I use one or I use the other. I don't abbreviate a name and then say his full name. What would be the point? Also, that nickname in general is Gubbins. During the Universal Champion's journey from the backstage area to the squared circle too, we got a pretty badass promo package recounting the events from the main event at Hell in a Cell. And the main reason it gets an up is because we got slow motion footage of Mick Foley being sprayed with that can of mace courtesy of Paul Heyman. It looked like this. Other than that, it was your usual opening segment of Raw. Roman Reigns came out and he said some words. Then Braun Strowman followed and he was mad. He said some words too. And eventually Baron Corbin came out to try and set the seed for the entire show. And the weird thing here was, while they all agreed that Brock Lesnar had ruined Hell in a Cell, they also still hated each other. They do have a solution though, and it comes in November when the WWE heads back to Saudi Arabia for the event that's now known as Crown Jewel. And that has to be one of the worst subtitles that the company has come up with in a long time. It's like those crappy In Your House shows back in the day, when it'd be called like, "In Your House, Beware of Dog." The hell was that? Anyway, the main event is indeed going to be Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. So well done, Lesnar. You just earned yourself probably another $1 million. Important to note that Braun was over like a king here, even though he told all the fans they sucked. Also told Baron and Roman they sucked too. And eventually, Paul Heyman walked out onto the top of the stage and basically said that Brock Lesnar came back to WWE because it's all about value. It's all about net worth. And if he's the Universal Champion, he has more bargaining power as he continues to chat to the UFC. Strowman didn't like this, so he chased Heyman away, and eventually Corbin and Reigns got into it. They stole microphones back and forth. And because Baron is in charge of the show, he said, "Roman, tonight you're going to face me for the Universal Championship." I mean, it ticked a lot of boxes. I'm getting up. There is a slight problem in the sense that WWE is now trying to promote 3 shows at once, because you've got WWE Evolution, and you've got the Australian show, and now you've got Crown Jewel. That's a little bit ridiculous, but I would just shift that off to the left for now and ignore it, because when you shift something off to the left, you can pretend it doesn't exist. It was Drew McIntyre versus Dean Ambrose after this, and while it pulled up my old heartstrings, unless I was having a heart attack, should probably get that checked out. Getting up. Now, this was very good. Once again, I think it proves that Drew McIntyre is ready for a singles push as soon as anyone is ready to pull the trigger. However, there are a few problems we need to address. It was a clean victory after the Claymore kick, but let's be honest with ourselves. Dean Ambrose has only been back on Raw, what, 5, 6 weeks? And WWE has taken that return magic that everybody gets when they come back, and they've thrown it out the window, and he already feels like he's just another dude. That is ridiculous. We could have done more here. However, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If we are trying to push Drew, and this is Drew's time, and Drew is about to go flying into the stratosphere, then yeah, let him beat everybody and just make sure you don't have second thoughts. Also, Dean kind of cost himself the match here because he went for a dive or a move off the top rope and Drew just got him and slammed him into the barricade. You know, Ambrose, you cost yourself this. You should have thought about it. And then a nothing backstage segment bookended all of this. Dolph Ziggler congratulated Drew on his win. Then Baron Corbin arrived and said, "Ziggler, I hear you're ready to use your IC title rematch." Ziggler's like, "No, I don't want to do that. I'm really hurt. I got thrown off the Hell in a Cell last night." To which the constable replied, "Yeah, but from what I hear, Seth Rollins ain't even going to turn up to Raw, so you'll win the title anyway." Dolph was like, "Well, that sounds good. Sign the match." I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just there, and it took a damn long time to explain this when it could have been done in about 3 seconds. However, you know, up. What is a down is the next segment with the Bellas, Nattie Neidhart, and Ronda Rousey. I mean, honestly, who was this for, and why did we do it? Who books this down? The short version is Rousey didn't understand how open challenges work, so she was asking Nattie and the Bellas for some help. It was strongly hinted that maybe Nikki or Brie would accept this, but what are we doing? What are we doing? Ronda Rousey is meant to be a badass. Why are we treating her like a school kid on their first day at school? Secondly, why is Brie now two different characters? She even dresses different on both shows. She's kind of like pseudo heel on Raw, but not heel. But then on SmackDown, she's Daniel Bryan's wife, and it's never explained, and no one explains it. It's never explained. Brie Bella, free agent. And then the downs keep on coming because Chad Gable defeated Victor in a singles match. Down. Now, to be fair, I have actually warmed up to this Bobby Roode and Chad Gable partnership because mostly it gets them on the show and they are having a lot of fun with it. So that is going to get an up. But why can't they progress? Why can't they evolve? Why can't they do something different as opposed to just fighting the Ascension every week? And it was teased at the end they were going to get it again in 7 days because Connor got in the ring and he beat up Chad Gable. I don't need to see it for like a 5th time. I've seen it 4 times. 4 times is too much for anything. However, going back to the up, I will justify it because once again, Chad Gable looked great here and he won clean after the Chaos Theory suplex. And if we do let this run its course a little bit and then Roode turns on Gable, this will be a blessing for both of them. So I'm hoping for that. But in terms of what we did here on Raw, I mean, absolutely pointless. Pointless. I started daydreaming about ships. A quick segment next with Seth Rollins arriving at the building and finding all the information out about Dolph Ziggler and his IC Championship match. The Undertaker was up next to continue to promote his match with Triple H at WWE Goes Down Under, which is a better name for that event. By the way, WWE, you're free to use it. And he basically spouted the usual Taker gibberish. At one point, I think he said, delusional souls will go in my hole. He didn't say that. He absolutely didn't say that. That's got different connotation entirely. However, he feels like a superstar. The crowd loved it. I loved it. Get to know. And it had a purpose because the dead man not only confirmed that, yes, Shawn Michaels will be in the corner of Triple H, the Undertaker's going to have somebody in his corner too, and it's going to be the brand new mayor of Knoxville, his brother, Kane. Although I hope that doesn't upset Glenn Jacobs' constituents, because imagine that. Imagine he had to leave office because he was too busy flying to Australia to team with his fake brother in a wrestling match. That ain't gonna go well, my friend. It was still the Phenom on Raw, though, and that was all right with me. Bayley then beat Dana Brooke. It was a very short match, and I don't even understand what the point of it was or what in the hell WWE has actually done to Sasha Banks and Bayley over the last few weeks. I mean, they basically don't even exist. Did they say the wrong thing to the wrong person? Or maybe, I don't know, they knocked one of Vince McMahon's steak wraps out of his hands? I can't figure it out. Down. And not only is it a down, but around about 24 hours ago, I introduced the frown down as the down equivalent to the golden up. And people kept saying the same thing. They've been saying this for weeks. We don't want the frown down, Simon. We want something else. So don't let it be said, I don't listen to my audience. And to be fair, yes, if we go in this direction, the number can be, well, the color can change, right? Change it for a golden up. So this way, it can change the color. I don't want to do this. I'm never going to get over this. My mother is going to, well, she's going to disown me. However, Bayley, yeah, you are getting the first ever, and from what will now be a constant here on Ups and Downs, the brown down. I'll keep rambling a little bit so that we can change the color in the numbers box to brown, but Bayley, you just got brown downed. However, a quick side note, during Bayley's entrance, she came out with a load of Connor's Cure children, and I just like this stuff. It makes me feel good. It puts things in perspective. Getting up. AOP then beat 2 more jobbers, which was like a complete shift to everything that we'd just seen with Bayley, because while this was a short match, it made sense, and finally the Authors of Pain are being revved up again. So because they're getting revved up, they're getting up. It's another up for the match between Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler too for the Intercontinental Championship, because while it was quite short, it was still entertaining. It was still fun. Yeah, so up. Sold their injuries from the Hell in a Cell very well, and eventually Seth just smashed the curb stomp onto Ziggler's head. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins retains. I guess now Ziggler has to walk away from the Intercontinental title picture. Apparently, too, we've gone back to giving Roman Reigns awful promo material. And I tell you, Roman, you're lucky I've already given out the brown down. Otherwise, I'd be giving it to you. However, down. Firstly, we didn't need a backstage promo with Roman Reigns. We already knew what he was going to do and how he thought about everything. And what we definitely didn't need is Reigns saying, I'm not the underdog, I'm the big dog. Are you 12? This is not cool at all. For starters, you wouldn't hear anybody say that in the real world, but you also wouldn't hear anybody say it in the wrestling world. Would The Rock have ever said that? No. Would Stone Cold Steve Austin? No. They wouldn't have even dreamt it. Sucked. All the Ronda Rousey stuff was next and it was fine, which was good because I was expecting this to fall off a cliff, but it didn't. Up. The champ came out, put over Alexa Bliss's efforts at the pay-per-view over, and then said, yes, she is doing an open challenge. And Nattie Neidhart's music hit. Her friend, her trainer, what's going to happen? Well, what did happen is the Riot Squad arrived instead, and they were dragging Nattie's lifeless corpse with them. I didn't mean to laugh, but I laughed a little bit because it actually looked like they'd killed her. And wouldn't that be a step up from PG? Ruby said it was going to be her taking on the champ, so we thought we were going to get a match, but we really didn't. Instead, Rousey fought off the group for a little bit, but in the group in the numbers game, they took advantage until the Bellas ran down, made the save, and all those three, stood in the ring like, yeah, we're the good guys. What's going to happen? Probably going to build to a six-man tag at some point. The interesting part of this is that, yes, Nattie's music hit. Now, was this some kind of ruse or some kind of trick because of the Riot Squad, or is it the start of a heel turn for Nattie so we can go into the Ronda Rousey versus Nattie program? I think that'll be quite good. And on a quick tangent too, when the Bellas came down to save Ronda Rousey, they had their music played. What are you doing, Nikki? What are you doing, Brie? Let's just take this for what it is. Forget the fact it's wrestling. Let's look at it verbatim. Are you telling me that not only were you happy for your theme song to play to let the Riot Squad know you were coming, but you went to the audio dude, you went, play the music, we got to save Ronda. Play it quick. He's like, let's go through iTunes trying to find it. Just run out there. It's called the art of a surprise. Braun Strowman then threatened to kill Baron Corbin. That's not a joke. They are the words that came out of Braun Strowman's mouth. It cracked me up. He told the constable that he hopes that he does win the Universal Championship this evening because Braun knows that he can kill Baron Corbin. Quote, given everything that's happened over the last few weeks on Raw, I fully expect Strowman to be arrested before Raw is over, because that's a threat on somebody's life. It was then time for a lot of nonsense between Elias, Bobby Lashley, Lio Rush, and Kevin Owens. But I tell you this, it was my kind of nonsense. It was incredibly entertaining. So not only does it get an up, but it gets a golden up. Began with the same Elias performance that we always get, but the man is so good at it never gets boring, until he was interrupted by Lio Rush. And at that point, we got a great line from the former Drifter who said, "Who's kidding this?" And he delivered it wonderfully. The match between Elias and Bobby Lashley then started, but they didn't get very far because Kevin Owens came out to ruin the whole thing. He chased after Lio Rush, but Lio Rush was like flipping around and he did a moonsault over Elias's head. He looked really good here. No matter what you think of him, he basically got himself over within about 10 seconds. At one point, Bobby even threw Rush into the bad guys, and all of this was great. And if it does mean we get Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley against Kevin Owens and Elias, a match I never thought I wanted, well, hey ho, I do want it. And this Lashley-Lio Rush pairing, it's really good. Alexa Bliss did a selfie promo after this with Mickie James on one side and Alicia Fox on the next side. And I have one question to ask you, Alexa Bliss. If this was, a proper selfie promo and you were holding your phone like this, which I saw you were doing, you were implying that you were, why did the camera not move at all? Don't pull the wool over my eyes, pal. I know what you were doing, or at least what production was doing. If you're gonna do a selfie promo, just do it. Don't fake selfie promos. It looks stupid. Down. Anyway, the point was Alicia and Mickie James won a tag team against Ember Moon and a partner of her choosing, but Ember Moon doesn't have any friends, so it's probably going to be a handicap bout. It wasn't, because Nia Jax returns. She helped win the match. She hit a Samoan drop on Alicia Fox. And the whole time I was thinking, we could probably do much better with all of these wrestlers. Down. And it's another down for our main event, which upsets me because I never give downs to the main event. It's usually my favorite part of the show, but this was crazy, it was overbooked, and it was confusing. So yeah, down. It was, of course, Roman versus Baron. It was fine, it was okay. It was a decent enough WWE match, but when the constable threw a chair into Roman's face, he had to be DQ'd before he remembered, wait, I'm the GM, and he restarted the match, and now, of course, it was no disqualification. Then, it went nuts. Strowman came out, Ziggler came out, Drew McIntyre came out, Ambrose came out, Rollins came out. There was just way too much going on here, and the only reason they did it to begin with is so we could create enough of a distraction that Roman Reigns could hit the spear and get the 1-2-3 on Baron Corbin. It just made Raw feel a bit rudderless at the moment. Again, that could be because we're now booking for 3 different pay-per-views, but when this show went off air, I had absolutely no reason, or at least no reason to think, why I should tune in 7 days, because there was nothing. There was just nothing. Maybe I tune in, maybe these guys are still fighting. I don't know. I did like the end of days on Roman Reigns, though, by Baron Corbin. That looked really cool. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's Raw. Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. And follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching. And here's maybe what you could do today. Go back 24 hours and watch my ups and downs for Hell in a Cell. Then invent time travel and watch tomorrow's ups and downs for SmackDown. Or, just wait for Wednesday to come around. And then you'll be all caught up on this ups and downs journey. They juiced.